Right, out for a Greenlane adventure, just a short one today, because my bike needs a bit of fettling and so does Vicky's, but we desperately wanted to get out and have a play. Do Newquay Roseland, but we're not doing the Roseland half of it because we always end up doing the Roseland bit and then we don't bother going over to Newquay, so we're going to go over to Newquay and cut out the Roseland bit and then just have a trek around. So it kind of looks like that, although that's not taking us over there at all. We'll have a look a bit later. Vicky's leading today. I only have the map up for just for backup really, and that's that. So I'm running an open phone. I have another one in here which is waterproof. I quite like the little ones. I can hear them. Alright, it gets a bit dusty. Vicky's got this funky one that she bought off Amazon, which she's proving to be pretty good. It's got room for a backup battery and a phone and a few other bits in there, and it's also sheltered. So I got her to buy me one as well, and I want to use mine on the road bike more than anything. So yeah, Vicky's leading the way. I'll be following her and we'll catch a bit of footage hopefully. Yep. Just stopped off. We've got a big rain cloud coming over, so I better change my phone mount for a waterproof one. So yeah, totally just following Vicky on this one because I don't really have the right map, but I have a similar map which will kick in a bit later, but I don't have this section, so just follow Vicky and there we go. This looks alright. So I'm kind of nursing my bike along because I've got a poorly output shaft that the front sprocket is on. It's just all the splines are dying, so I'm just being steady as I can with it really, but I am looking for a solution. Vicky's bike's alright though, burns a bit of oil, but that's alright. Nothing wrong with being on a permanent oil change. Just keep topping it up after every ride. The international turnaround sign. Get a lot of that. It's easy done. Sometimes you look down a lane and you're not quite sure about it. It doesn't, you know, well, the map is not accurate enough to directly send you down it. It's due to the way there some of the maps are written. that. Ah, I've never been down these ones. I left a bit too much air in my tyres today. Seems to be coping alright, but I can feel the difference. My one's talking to me because it wants me to go back the way we've just come, because it still thinks we're doing something else. Yeah, that's a good one, that.
Yeah.
I know where we are. Funny thing about laning, you take a little lane and you don't know where you are, and then you pop out somewhere and you think, ah, here we are, which is usually a lot shorter way of getting there if you had to go by road, and you just can't believe how much ground you can cover by just taking a few lanes, and you're like, oh, I can't believe we're all the way over here. Or sometimes it's just a case of you don't actually realise when you're driving around, unless you follow a map, where a place actually is in relation to something else. And then you throw a couple of little lanes in to link them up, and you're like, oh, I didn't realise it was this close to there.
Been along here before.
Yeah, I was just saying it on the camera, yeah, where we are, and you know. So yeah, it is really interesting just how much ground you can cover without having to go all around the houses following the main road. I'll keep you turned on for this bit. This is going to lead us right out to Baldu area, which Baldu used to be a place that we would go and do enduro practice. But like everywhere else down here, it's been closed up or can't go there anymore. Baldu was privately owned, and an old gentleman had it, a farmer, and he was good as gold. He used to let us in there, pay him a tenner for the day, knock yourself out. But he passed away, unfortunately, and then his wife, understandably, didn't want all of the people around really on her land, so that was the end of that one. But Baldu was good because it had a huge variety of terrain, woodlands, quarry type stuff, and so now consequently this is why we've got taken to Greenlaning, just to get the riding time, because we're just not getting the riding time that we used to for practice. And although it's not exactly the same as riding enduro, it is time in the seat doing something. So but I like to try and keep it all as legal as possible. I'm not interested in upsetting anybody. I don't want to get into conflict. If I'm not supposed to go down somewhere for whatever reason, I don't want to go down there. Fair, simple as that. There are some crossovers where some people believe that you shouldn't be there, and actually you can be there. But to be fair, we haven't come across any conflict like that. I think you just got to ride sensibly, just keep bimbling through, Don't give anyone an excuse to stop you. Just try not to stop and give anyone an excuse to come and talk to you. But from what I can tell, most of these maps that we've been following are 99% legitimate green lanes and trails. So usually a good telltale is, can you fit a car down it? There's a lot of them that you can't, and they are marked as byways. So you know, it's not always the best way to tell, but a good one is, if you're not quite sure, can you fit the car down it? I've looked at some paths or what are supposed trails, and they just look like footpaths. I'm not going down there. You know, we'll find a way around. Other than that, no, it's good fun. We really enjoyed it. Bit of mud. It's a good lane, that one. Oh, dusty here. What's going on here? Yeah. Might have had to turn there.
Turn slightly left, then accept.
Trouble is, the GPS,
Slightly right.
especially under the trees like this, won't update itself for a second, or it'll get confused with where you're at. So you can go up a lane that you're not supposed to go up. And you know, through no fault of your own. It's just you've had a little momentary glitch in your signal. Yeah. A lot of hoof prints here, so it's probably a bridle way. Yeah, looks more like it this way. Although the bridle way looks inviting. I'd love to go and have. They've got so many routes, the old bridle ways. And ironically, you tend to come across them on the byways and the roads, and you think, well, you've got all the bridle ways. Go and ride on the bridleways, because we're not allowed to ride on your stuff, but you can ride on our stuff. And isn't that always the case? Anyway, let's not moan about that one. Another funny thing about these maps, and I hope you can hear me because we're moving a bit quicker, is if you can imagine, you can turn that, shut up. Anyway, if you can imagine, these apps are also used for like Dakar riding or desert crossing. And it's like a line that's been struck along just an empty page, and it might say, oh, you follow it for 50 miles, and then it'll prompt you when you get to that point in 50 miles that you've got to bear slightly right and then carry on and just follow the line the best of your abilities. Now, if you overlay a map on that now, it doesn't know that there's a road there. It doesn't know that there's these corners to be following. So consequently what it does is you could be travelling along a road which doesn't have any turn-offs on it, but it has some bends in it, and when it gets to the bend, in order for it to follow the road that you're on so you don't get confused, they've put a point on it and then made the adjustment to make it follow the road until the next bend, and then that's a point there, and all of these points are changes in direction. So you come to a bend and it says, oh, you've got to turn left and you're like, oh, I'm looking for a left turn then, but it isn't, it's just a bend in the road. The other funny thing that happens is you could be going along a completely straight road and there's a crossroads up ahead, but because the line doesn't deviate from its path, it goes straight across the crossroads. Proper rain, gonna start proper rain now. Yeah, because it doesn't deviate from this. Let me say it again, it doesn't deviate from the path that it's the line is straight, but there's a crossroads that it goes over, and you look at the line on your sat nav and you're thinking, oh yeah, it's just straight, don't need to worry about anything, and then you go ripping across a crossroads that it didn't know was there. All it's concerned with is that there's no deviation from going straight. Oh, fly in the mouth. These are good lanes, these. And yeah, therefore you've just, you know, flown across a crossroads, and more than once. I think it's actually happened 3 times. We've gone banging along, realised that there's a crossroad overhead, because you have to just pay attention to your surroundings, stopped, and then a tractor and trailer has gone by, and me and Vicky keep looking at each other and go, no way, this happened again. We could have just gone straight across that crossroads and one of us got mashed by a tractor and trailer. So you do have to be vigilant with the maps and pay attention to not just what it's trying to tell you, but what is actually in front of you. It is quite tricky. I didn't start out this video just to sort of give a tutorial on how to read a phone map. Jesus, I'm no expert. I'm sure people are probably going, well, duh, yeah, that's obvious. Well, you know, it wasn't obvious to me when I started doing it. It doesn't work exactly the same as your Google Maps does. It doesn't know that there's junctions and that you've got to take, you know, this many exits off the roundabout and then stay in the left lane. It doesn't know all of that stuff. It just knows it's going left, right or straight on, pretty much. Yeah, some good lanes here that I haven't actually been on, I don't think. Most of these roads like this, they are people's access to their houses. This is their driveway, really. So you have to be a little bit, you know, respectful of that. So we could be coming up here at 50 mile an hour and having a whale of a time. But you know, it's actually somebody's driveway or access to their property. So, you know, just put it in a talk here and just bimble along. Don't draw any attention to yourself. There you go. We're going straight on by the looks of it. Looks that way. So I've got a fly in my eye. See, now this one looks a bit more suspicious. Is it legal? Is it not? And now it's like obviously too, you know, you could fit a car down this bit because they, you know, these lanes, they overgrow. Nobody's looking after them for us. You know, I remember years ago with the horses and that, when we were doing a lot horse-wise with my sisters, and they, you know, groups of them would get together and look after the bridleways and trim them back. But nobody's doing that for the greenlaners. We wait for a car to go through to wreck the bushes. If there's a tree gone down, you know, some people will carry a branch cutter or something. Okay, my map has picked up the map now. So I've got an idea of where we're supposed to be going. And I can preempt if we need to do a U-turn. I don't have to do one, I'll probably spot the lane if she goes wrong. Now this lane looks to me like it would be a byway or an access lane to people's houses, like to that one there. But they've collectively had it tarmac, they paid to have it tarmac. Especially a bit back there, this looks a bit more legitimate, but back there was a section of tarmac that somebody's quite obviously paid to have done. And you know, you have to be respectful of that. Turn slightly left. See, there's no turning, it's just a bend in the road. Good lanes these. Trying out a new camera mount today, a helmet mount, and I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to say which one it is, but a lot of motocross YouTubers use it. Anyway, it's very dependent on what shape your helmet is. Because we went and did an enduro practice day the other week at Allacott Farm, and I videoed that. And during that, it fell off my helmet, and thankfully I decided to use the little lanyard thing to go around my helmet strap, so it caught it, and it put it back on again. Fair enough. But it you know, a bit of shaking around and it fell off. But it was particularly bumpy. So, and I had previously thought perhaps that helmet wasn't the best shape for. See, here we go, look, straight on. It's just a line, it hasn't said anything, but it's going. Same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's straight across the road, look, without explaining to you that there's a road there. So I'm talking on the so yeah, it's something to watch out. Anyway, the camera mount. So it seems to fit a lot better on this helmet. The angles are a lot better for it to sort of grip onto. And so yeah, see how it goes today. lanes.
Turn sharply right.
Oh, I'm going to go across the bridge. Oh, horse.
Turn left.
Somebody fly tipped a load of crap as well. And it's lovely. He's a bit nervous, that horse. Get a nervous horse and all these green bridleways to go on, you take it on the road. I understand that, you know, you can't just go on bridleways, you've got to link it up, same as we are here, we've got to link these lanes up with a bit of roadwork. But, you know, I've never been here before. It takes you to all sorts of places, like immediately around where you live, you've never been to. Huh? Oh, well, I saw it. Go. I do like this helmet with the visor on it. I don't care what anybody says. I use a motocross helmet with goggles for doing enduro, but I do like the adaptability of having the drop down visor and the sun visor on this enduro helmet. Especially the other day when we went through a bee swarm. Poor old Vicky's got goggles on and all these bees are in the side of her helmet fluttering around. And my helmet, they were just sort of ping pong, just bouncing off. Poor little bees. At least they weren't in my helmet giving me what for. See, this lane is suspicious. But we're halfway through it now, so what can you do? But look at that, you know, you can fit a car in there and it's probably just overgrown.
That's overgrown, isn't it?
Huh?
Overgrown, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I just said that.
Yeah.
There you go. Public byway, love it. Been tarmac, this one, interestingly. Again, local residents might put together for access to their houses and pay to have some tarmac laid. Or it could be done by the council, I don't know. If you keep going, it'll turn to dirt. Never been down this one either, I don't think. I tell you what, I'm quite pleased with my tyres. I had a set of Maxxis Enduro Cross something or others on before. I don't know if they were road legal or not. Probably. I think they were. Hang on a minute, I've got something crawling around in my helmet. Anyway, me and Biggie have always used the trials tyres for enduro riding. Mainly because most of all of the enduros down our way, we weren't allowed a motocross tyre, you had to have a trial tyre, so that the landowner's land didn't get ripped up to. And so we actually prefer the riding style of running on a trials tyre, but don't get me wrong, the trials tyres we use on the enduro bikes are soft compound, so they're really gummy. We run them with tubeless in the rear, so we're running like 6 psi, sliding them out, 6 psi in the back, and just grip for days basically. And I don't have a problem with them in the mud, in all fairness. They are slippy on the grass, they are slippy for really clodgy mud, but you know, you can, if you know how to ride a trials tyre, you can get through. And so I decided I was going to go for trials front and rear on this enduro bike, and I have to say I love it. I think it's great. I mean, it is coming up for summer and I haven't ridden oh dear. Shall we do a job on it? Let's get the tools out.
Just come off the tape.
Yeah, we'll get the tools out and fix it.
Go under the tree.
Yeah.
This has been good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting
All of the same trails.
all the same trails and a lot of road bollocks. But I mean, there's always going to be road.
Eh?
There's always going to be road, isn't there?
Yeah.
But
I nearly turned off for that little bit at Laddock Valley there, but I thought, well, we've done that quite a lot.
yeah,
So I thought we'll just get cracking.
the toolkit is quite comprehensive, and I'm so glad.
Huh?
I'm on the camera.
Oh, are you sorry?
It's all right. And I'm so glad that I decided to put it together. But then, maybe you call it tempting fate, but as soon as I put this toolkit together, and I don't skimp on them, I've got a proper sets of tools.
Smaller, sorry.
We started having issues, and but we've been able to fix them, so thank God we had the tools. But yeah, we prefer the trials tyres, so I'm running trials on the front and the rear. Vicky's still got a knobbly on the front, but she'll go on to her trials on the front maybe, see what she thinks when that one's done and dusted. And but we haven't done a winter with it. We have done some wet stodgy stuff, but not like winter mud. And then so that leads me on to another thing about the seasons for greenlaning. You know, you can get not necessarily bored of the lanes, but it's like anything, you've got to drive down the same roads to get anywhere. And so you end up going down the same lanes all the time. So the winter and the summer periods are good, aren't they? Because we couldn't believe the difference with that Bobbin Ultimate. We did it in the winter and it was hard. Well, not in the winter, but definitely wet after a wet season. And then we took my sister on it, dear of her, and it nearly destroyed her. That was hard, wasn't it?
Very wet.
Very wet and slippy, and it was hard going, but really enjoyable for us, but just a bit too bad and overwhelming for her. And then we did it when it dried up like it is now, and it was a completely different ride. You know, you could take a scooter around some of them, couldn't you? You know, it was just nice, and all the foliage had grown up and it just looked like a completely different ride. So yeah, you know, it does change. All right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Ready?
Yep.
I lost the front end turning in here.
Did you?
I really went to Perla.
I didn't. on my trials tyre. Oh, it helps if I turn the key on, I suppose. Yep. So Vicky's on a DR350 there, and I've got a little Honda XR 250. And you know what, I love it. I love this little bike. It doesn't have the power to pop the front over things. You know, you have to physically bounce and clutch things to get the front wheel over, and that's in first and second really. First and second are so close on the gearbox. But I mean, I am toying with looking for an XR400. I've seen a few, and I'm tempted to buy a 400 just to have something a bit more. But I do love the 250. I love the fact that I'm a 6'3", 17 stone guy, and I'm riding one of the oldest and smallest bikes in the group sometimes, and it just does it. You know, it doesn't need to be massively powerful. It doesn't need to. It's lightweight. If you can ride, it'll go. And as many of you know, they don't come with a battery on them. Well, maybe some of them do, but you don't find them very often. You certainly don't find them, very rare, with an electric start. But we started this Greenlaning thing because we were gearing up. We wanted to do the Land's End trial, and it's like 350 miles plus 24 hours practically of off-roading, non-stop trial, road trial with off-road sections. So basically what we're doing now, but an organised event. And I just thought, well, we don't need anything too powerful, because the more tired you get, the harder that they become to handle. This has grown over a lot. So 250 was great, and but no charging. Well, it's got a charging system but no battery, so which meant that I can't charge a phone or torches or anything like that. So but it has got a regulator with a I can't remember what it's called now, not a capacitor. Is it? It's not diode. Capacitor? It's like a very small battery, just to soak up the fluctuations in charge. And so I took the wires off the capacitor and put a little battery in this little bag here. Smallest battery that was on the shelf at Halfords at the time, and ran the wires to that, so that it was charging a battery. Put it in a little bag. Hello, little river. And then or a generic USB charge port that you can buy off eBay. This one's got 2 USB outs, but also what I quite liked is it's got a voltage, little digital voltage readout on the top, so I can have a look, see if it's charging properly and how much volts are in my battery, and it's fine. So I've got the USB that charges my phone, and maybe a camera device, or more to the point, a battery pack, you know, like you get to charge all your devices with when you're on the move. What else? Oh, and a little light on a button, runs off that, because the lights on this bike are crap, and if it isn't running, the lights go out. Which which is a bit of a nuisance if you're in the middle of a lane in the dark and the lights go out and you're broken down. So we've got the ability to run the torch there off the front of the bike and see where we go. And she's got exactly the same on her bike, except hers already had a battery because it's an electric start model. Pulling in.
I keep losing my front end all over the place.
That's because there's lots of air in it.
Do we need to take any out or no?
Yeah. How much did you put in there? 30?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we left 30 in it to make sure it was up. So yeah, we'll let some out. Yeah, we just let a bit of air out of Vicky's front tyre. We changed the tube yesterday and I stuck 30 psi in it to get it on the rim. We didn't let it down. I tend to leave them blown up for a night just so I can check the pressure, just to confirm that I haven't pinched the tube. Somebody's been down here today, follow their wheel line there. It's always a good another good telltale is there any other bike tracks on it, especially not just that day but older ones. You know, it's a used route. I can't believe it's raining today. It's been roasting off. We went snorkeling yesterday because we just had to get in the water. Saw a lobster and we couldn't get it out, and big flatfish. I actually haven't seen any flatfish while I've been out there for years. Mullet. Good. Here we go, let's see. 5 mile an hour. This is where Healy's cider farm is, towards Linky Way. You have to be careful here because there are kids playing. Dimble through. So we did an enduro last weekend at Alicott Farm. Never been there before. What a great venue. That was good. Left, I think. Going that way? That doesn't seem quite right to me, but just go steady. Anyway, yeah, we did Alicott Farm and it was a great venue, really enjoyed it, but we hadn't ridden our gases for ages and we've been riding these and it took a bit of getting back into. Found them very flighty and we've gotten used to just wrenching the throttle open on these and not a lot happening in any quick time, and then the gas gases just take off. as I put my visor up, the blooming fly just bounced off my eyeball. Yeah, so guys, we're getting quite wet here now. I didn't bring any waterproofs because we weren't expecting it, but rain is good because then it means less people are out walking around. But yeah, getting on the gases again, it was a bit hair raising. You know, they're sort of a bit less forgiving than the old four-stroke roadie trails. So a bit of respect given there until we got used to it, and then started riding a bit harder. So I did a video on that already. And we booked ourselves in for Callington, which is next weekend on the gases again. So I don't think I've done Callington either, so that's going to be fun. Great lanes today. It's amazing what you see along the way though. People just, well, it's not abandoned, you know, somebody obviously lives up here and they've decided to put their boat there and fully intending to take it back in the water at some stage and just never doing it, you know. And you find a lot of cars and vehicles, vans and stuff like that in the places. It's been growing into the sidelines. I find it really interesting. Some of the houses, properties that you see. There's where is it? I can't remember what it's called. Oh, St. Neot. There's a huge, great big farmyard there. You look in there and you can just, it's got like two massive buildings just lining the side of this big courtyard with the building at the far end, and it looks like something out of some period drama, you know. And you can just imagine that it was full of people doing stuff back in the day, but now it looks practically derelict. There's machinery in there, but so it's obviously an active farm, but nothing like what it would have been in the day, you know. Turn the beeps up on my camera. I can't hear that it's turning on. There's interesting dynamic being the leader and the follower as well. I did a lot of leading because I was figuring out the whole map thing, and then I could explain it to Vicky. Then in the end she actually just sussed it all out for herself anyway without me explaining it to her. It's not like I have to tell her how to do things or anything. Anyway, so when you're in front you're riding at your sort of pace, and it isn't until you follow somebody you realise it's tricky to keep up with them. easy for them to get away from. See that? We just come out of somebody's farmyard, so we could have been racing through there. You have to, you know, be respectful. But yeah, it's difficult. You realise that following somebody, you have to keep up with them because they can get away from you. But also, if you sit right on their back end, you miss everything. You don't get to see what's going on, and you know, you miss which line you might prefer because you can't see past them. So it's a game of hanging back so that you can see what's going on, but also staying close enough so that you don't get lost. And that's part and parcel with not racing around and making an ass of yourself. Like if she gets away from me, I don't tend to just blast up this lane to catch her up because you don't know what's around the corner. So you're sort of gently catching her up. That's the part of the issue. Sat there for ages on these traffic lights. My battery's gone flat, so I've had to plug it into the old USB port, which is great because it's there to use. Rain's easing off now though, so hopefully it don't keep wiping the lens as much. Look, bit of rock. Fantastic. Make it worse for ourselves. Yeah, off that bit. Oh, lazy. A bit of something to play on, that's nice. Sand, never really ridden on sand.
Turn right, then in 90 meters, turn slightly right.
Realised I hardly didn't really tie that phone thing up. Should have lost my phone out the bottom without realising it. They've made all this road up since the last time I was here. We've come here in the car. All this road's been made up, hasn't it?
Yeah, they're filled in a lot of the holes and stuff.
Yeah.
We are going to be doubling back again. in a
Are we?
bit.
I stalled it.
Did you?
Huh?
We're out on Hubert.
Hubert Common, yeah. On Hubert Common. said we'll have a stop for a minute. Oh, left me light on. Because we haven't really stopped all day. We don't normally, really, but you know. Hey, both bikes, so.
Might have a flapjack if we're stopping.
Yeah. And over there is some poppy fields, and we were over there last night when we went snorkeling. Isn't that right?
Over there, look.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we went snorkeling down in that cove.
This is Cubic Common.
Cubic Common, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just take a moment to show this little thing that Vicky's got. It's a bit, it does move around, but it's all right. It's got your phone storage and then a little bit of a compartment underneath for your battery and all bits and pieces. But the bikes, they're old, but they've been doing us pretty good. I've had to fix some stuff along the way. We do get carried away on some trails where we're riding them a bit hard, but for this sort of thing, it's they're perfect. Got a little light, both of them. Oh, well, we're going to head back now. Probably just road work, so thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe, hit the bell button, share it, do whatever you want, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.